These are brave new ideas. And just to share this with you, because we get a lot of bad information, Libya was the most progressive economic country on the African continent.
Yes.
It was the most progressive economic country in the Middle East. It just puts places like Saudi Arabia, which is friends with the United States, and Egypt to shame. To shame. People from Saudi Arabia and Egypt flock to Egypt, to Libya, to get jobs, because they can't get jobs in their native land. You go to Egypt, you see all these huge, beautiful buildings, and you ask who lives there. The leadership of Egypt and the United States government, that's who lives in those buildings. And then you go to these streets off to the side, and you see you get crowded by hundreds and thousands of people with their hands out. You get afraid at first, because you think it looks like something out of zombies, right? But they come up to you and they're not coming to hurt you. They're coming to put their hands out to beg from you, because they don't have enough food and money to live on. You go to Libya and you see new dwellings, new communities, workers' villages. Used to be because they bombed all of them. And I'm not trying to speak. Everybody wants to talk about how crazy Gaddafi was. I don't know if Gaddafi was cool or if he was great. I don't really know. All I know is that the product that I saw with my own eyes was on the ground. Okay?
That's right.
And I also know that nobody had a right to go bomb.
That's right.
And so part of our understanding of economics has to be a disciplined understanding of the world. It has to be ideologically based. It has to understand what we come from. So as we come up with problems in Jackson, if our ideology is a peoples-based ideology, if it says that we have to do the most for the most, rather than the most for the least, then we have answers preset for those problems. Sometimes we have to think a little longer and figure it out a little better. In Jackson, for instance, right now, we are dealing with a situation where all kinds of companies are coming in here trying to invest. But very few of them are trying to invest in order to help the people of Jackson. We got what we call a AA plus credit rating, which means we got one of the best credit ratings in the country. Part of the reason is because we haven't really done too much development, period, right? So we have a reserve credit rating. And so, so these people are coming in here, when they come in here, they want to do the $89 million convention center hotel. And they want to do the Fair Street project, which interestingly enough, when they said they were going to do the Fair Street project the first time, it was just one developer, David White. He was going to do it with his own money when he first said it. And this was 3 years ago. Now he got 6 black partners who are supposed to be prosperous, and now he got to come ask the city for $12 million, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't get better, he got poor, right? And still ain't done nothing on Fair Street, right? And then we got people that want to build a Western hotel and various other things with the money that comes from your tax dollars. That's what will secure it. Because if they don't build it successfully and pay it back successfully, then your tax dollar has to pay it back. And then when your tax dollar has to pay it back, and you can't deal with the growing water crisis that we're in, you can't deal with the sewage crisis that we're in, you can't deal with the sidewalks that we need, then not only their people leave the city, but our people leave the city. And then we begin to look at ourselves like we can't do nothing straight. Part of our problem is that we have people in leadership, if we want to talk about it from the political point of view, who don't have that organized way of thinking.
Yeah.
They look at every situation. They look at every situation. They don't have any consistency. Like I'm criticized because every time a project comes up for the city, I ask, how many black people you got working for in the western part of Mississippi, right? We're not the minority in Hinds County. So as far as I'm concerned, we're not the minority in the world. Right? So I'm not going to just go to their prescribed counting basis and start calling myself a minority. But the problem is I ask those questions because I'm ideologically based. My philosophy remains the same. I don't change up because of what you look like, or what you act like, or whether you got a big smile or a frown on your face, whether you actually, not even whether you're white or whether you're black. I ask the same question. And the reason I ask those questions is because I understand that Jackson is a city which is 85% black, and it only has 15% black people. That's the problem. And so you have to have a plan and a disciplined approach to that. So what I would say in closing is that I think that what we have to do when we look at these models that we've heard, these cooperative, that they are good things. And the way that a public sector financing can intersect so-called private sector financing is that the public sector financing has to be controlled by those who are in political power in order to initiate or provoke movement in the private sector. In other words, invest money into some of these things, which will help